We also have a guest speaker. Today's topic is systematic oppression and have no fear to progress. I'm waiting for okay, I see Amaryllis is on here now. Hey Amaryllis.
Hey,
So yeah, we just I guess we'll get straight to the topic at hand, systematic oppression. And we wanted to discuss we just take the meaning to be oppressed, held down, the opposite of suppress, bare minimum oppress. We have been oppressed for so long that it seems to be a generational pass down. And we've seen oppression in the school systems amongst our communities. We've seen oppression throughout our incarceration statistics. There are more Africans more than never being housed in institutions, and we want to just talk about it and move further. We always open to comments, questions. So if you feel like you have a question that you would like us to respond to, feel free to comment in the comment section. So Marilise, you have something you would like to piggyback?
yes, give me a second. I'm still setting this up to make sure we're good.
Oh,
But Simona has joined us now. Hello,
okay.
Simona. Give her a second.
Okay.
She still looks like
Hey
she's adding.
Simone, I seen you briefly.
Yeah, she looks like she's still adding the picture to her
Oh,
screen.
okay.
Screen in about 5 minutes.
I'm adding you, Simona, but you're free to add the picture to your screen if you want. You look like you're still in the car.
Yeah.
There she is.
Okay. She just got to put her mic on.
It is. I can hear everything you're saying. I just have it muted because I'm in the car and the noise.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm still setting up. Give me 1 second. I'm waiting to see if people are joining too. But we can get ready to start in another minute or so. It's only been about 4 minutes. Last time we were about a few minutes down.
Right.
Okay, seems like we were just having some technical difficulties. I think everybody's getting back up now.
Yeah, yeah, I'm back
Simone,
now.
are you with us? You back?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm finna go in the house now. I'm here.
Okay. All right, I believe we could start. Are y'all ladies ready again?
Yes.
Simone, you with us?
I am. I'm going in the house.
All right, so to reintroduce everybody's, I'm a Marilise. I'm with Cassandra and Simona, and this is the broadcast for Triple T Sisters. Tonight, we're going to be discussing systematic oppression, basically systematic inequality, and yeah, within jobs, within schools, within lawmaking, within the opportunities that basically go on throughout everywhere every day. So for
And
those, yeah,
yeah,
go ahead, Cassandra.
yeah, and as we proceed on today's topic, after we give some permanent information, we'll be able to discuss some proactive, progressive ways that we can move forward. Um, Not to one thing have any fear, because that's the main problem with systematic oppression, is that they instilled fear into us. And so once we identify that, and we see what things that we can do, solutions to move forward. We can unify as a culture to move forward.
Overall, in case anyone does not know, oh, Simona will be back. It looks like the device isn't connected, so she'll join us in a few more minutes. But for those of you who are joining who don't actually know what systematic oppression is, or maybe some people are like, oh, that's not a real thing, but it is a real thing, and it's basically been around for as long as our institutions have been in place. It's built within the structures that are all around us every day, within your workforce, within your school systems, within the laws that are made, within even within the prison cells. It exists. And some people don't like to label it as white supremacy, but to sum it all up, that's basically a way to look at it in the simplest form possible. Overall, it just makes it more challenging for minorities, people of color, to participate in a lot of things that go on within our society, within our economy, and overall, it just is differs between whichever institution we're going to discuss tonight. It also happens within our housing. It happens within the wealth gaps that you see. Like I said, our schools, our education system, the way our neighborhoods are even policed. Everyone always sees that maybe there's a little more cop cars in certain neighborhoods versus other neighborhoods. Maybe you enter a school system and you're wondering why, the funding is a lot different per neighborhood, things of that nature. I see Simone is trying to join back. Give me a second. Let me try to help her. Continue for a second. Cassandra, I'm going to try to help her.
Yeah, so like my co-host was saying, Amaryllis, with the systematic oppression that pertains to our everyday livelihood, recent current events. Since this is Black History Month, we can piggyback on the Black Lives Matter movement. We've seen day to day terrifying acts amongst our culture when talking about policing. Um, it has become fearful. I can identify. I've been pulled and stopped a couple of times on the basis of my color. I'm leaving out my residential property where I pay rent. I have been oppressed, stopped for no apparent reason. I told you I'm coming to the complex, so I'm not doing 25 miles per hour. So we've seen instances with George Floyd being brutalized and attacked and ending in death by alleged that he had a counterfeit bill. So these things do exist, whether you want to come to terms with them, and it has existed for a period of time now. And what we have to do is recognize it, and like we said, once we recognize it, we take the solutions, the proper solutions for it. And with that is saying, is that we teach our children. Like I said, it's Black History Month. We need to be looking into Black pioneers, inventors, teaching our own in in house and outside our home. Take them to things that you would normally not go to. Maybe an art gallery show, maybe a poetry club, a seminar, things that we normally wouldn't do. We need to start considering so we won't be oppressed. Um, moving forward, we talked about the institutions where most of our minorities are being housed day to day. We're still on a topic of systematic oppression. So with saying that, we have a generation where our culture, it seems that we are first picked to be housed in these places. It seems like in our generation, from time to time, if your uncle got arrested, seems like the next generation, someone is going to get arrested by the same crime or similar instances. It seems like it's a generation of things that we've been experiencing. We need to come together. Just start spending more time with our families. Uncles need to start taking their position of aunties. If you have gifts, if you can sing, if you can write, you a good orator. You know how to talk, public speaking. Let's trying to spend more time instilling that into our younger generation. That's another solution where we can break away from being systematically oppressed. I remember having conversations with my co-host Amaryllis where we was talking about how at one time we only in our mid 30s, but we could remember one time that they had cooking culinary classes that you could take in your primary schooling of trade. You could take cooking. They had, I remember we was part of the yearbook staff, and with saying that, we took major role responsibilities with pretty much organize these things. We would get a group, and everybody was designated to fulfill a role. And some of these things are no longer in the public sector schools. They have stated that they have no funds, and subsequently they remove them. And so, what does that do to our brown and black kids that somehow oppress them, while another group of children are still learning these things, fortunately, because their schools are better funded, they're in better areas, they're getting the proper training, they're getting the proper hands on, they're getting the proper mentorship, and the list goes on. And while we suffer, um, it's a thing that been going time and time. So, like I always, hear me say, it's now. Last segment. Once we identify the problem, we have to find the solution. And I've listed a couple of solutions: training, also breaking the cycle of generation to generation imprisonment, uh, family time. Even if it's 5 minutes, 5 minutes make a difference. Um, I know they have us scattered, with our time. You got to be here, you got to be there. You barely got time for yourself. But these are the things that we can, kind of make a difference, kind of change. Make some time, do some things that you would normally think you would do, and and look, keep a log, see what different it made you in the next generation lives, and you'll be pretty surprised. I'm pretty sure all of us, different lives, had a mentor, somebody that took brother, big sister. They took those programs, but a big brother, a big sister, someone in the church. If you attended church, someone would be like your foreshadow. Accountability that makes a difference. Someone checking on you, seeing how your day to day, is going, asking you about your future goals. We have some people that are still impoverished communities, whether you made it or not, you became successful, you got a PhD, congratulations. Maybe you hit the lottery, congratulations. Maybe you was fortunate to open up your gifts and live them. But the reality is that we have people of our color still in struggling situations. And how do we break away from that? Like I said, I told you a couple of solutions, and like we said, this platform, we're given tools, we're given a platform, um, to break away from these generational barriers, systematic oppression, hate within each other. We've been oppressed so long that they made us fight one another. Okay.
Yeah.
Cassandra. Oh, hey, everybody on?
Yeah, we're on. But yeah, like
Yeah,
Cassandra
so
said,
I give, I let my other hosts speak as well.
yeah, like Cassandra just said, there are ways to move forward from this. But one of the easiest ways, because people are always asking, well, what can I do? What can I do? One of the easiest things you can do, first of all, is to acknowledge that it's even real. A lot of people don't even want to acknowledge that this is even out there, that
Right,
systematic oppression even exists. And and a lot of, even within the healthcare system, everywhere. If people don't even want to admit that it exists to begin with, well, how can you even address it? It's like not admitting the problem. How can you problem if you're not going to accept that there is a problem? And the whole
exactly.
idea is to create a structure which always, at the end of the day, is supposed to give a disadvantage to a certain group of people, and it's always supposed to
Right,
have disproportionate outcomes. And over time, they'll tell you, oh, it's getting better, it's getting better. But when you look at the big picture, is it really getting better? The only way it can get better is if it doesn't even exist to begin with.
right.
Right. Um, Also earlier this week, we were having a conversation. I was talking about, I was around my children this week and I realized something that I had said. And it made me think back to how many times I had heard those things, during my childhood, also things that I've said myself. And I was like, this is also a problem as well. We have to start having conversations in our own household and stop making that joke, saying things like, how black folks do, or you might hear a lot of the time people say things about our race, and that also becomes generational too. We just keep passing it down, line to line, saying these things, and now when you're saying it in front of small children that don't know the difference, this is what they grow up to believe, and it just creates another platform for when they older to be the exact same way. And I was thinking that about that this week. I was like, man, it's I've gotten so used to certain things and become so used to saying these things, and at the end of the day, it's not really acceptable if I'm consciously trying to move away from that. I guess that's the part where you're really ready to make a change, when you start realizing what you're doing so you can correct it.
Exactly.
Speed this
Yeah,
way.
at home, having the conversation, friends, having the conversation,
Oh,
making it
my big light so you could get it.
making it real that it even exists to begin with. Because part of trying to overcome that is this year, by electing the officials that we elected, the hopes would be that they address some of these policies and some of these political issues that are literally ingrained within the system. That's another thing. Speaking about it, voting for, the people that you believe are gonna articulate that the system isn't working and that you have to
Yeah, we
move
got,
forward.
yeah. Right. We got more than just the presidential election. You also have your public officials in your education system, your judicial system. We need to start getting in tune with all our political local elected officials and find out who they are, hold them accountable. If you don't like what's going on in your school system, the books are raggedy. They taking too much funding out of to find out who's the administration, the administrators, the board, find out who are these committee members and hold them accountable. Get in contact, write them. We got to start buckling down. You can't just wait and sit around and pass the bucket. That's what been going on for centuries. Everybody been waiting, sitting. We got to start reacting and making a difference.
That's what they want us to do. They want us to wait to the point that we get tired. And that's
Right,
what it really has been. But we live in a day of social media. You can't do nothing without somebody being able to make a video if they really want to. So that's the day we headed at. Like you saying, it's time to buckle down. Reach out to these people. If you can't get in contact with them, take it above and beyond. Local news stations, submit
right,
videos, build your evidence. Start looking
right,
at these other parents involved. You know what I'm saying? Somebody want to make a change just as more as bad as you do 9 times out of 10.
right. Start holding people accountable. They hold you accountable. One day you can't come in. You've been coming in 365 days, and one thing might happen that is out your will, health wise, family wise. I'm pretty sure you get back to work, you might be replaced. So we have
You ain't lying.
to hold them accountable in every day of our whatever affects us. We have to hold them accountable as well.
We went through, or we going through still, this pandemic, and a lot of flaws are being brought to light, even within the education system. A lot of flaws, because that makes people, like Cassandra Simona said, turn to the internet for information, and there's an abundance of it. And there's so many different things that students, teachers, parents, so many people are discovering are not being taught to their children. And when we go
Right,
back into these places of business, into these places for education, anywhere, you know, inclusion can be a part of it, diversity, teaching these things, understanding these things. It's like a way to wake up from it, so to speak, and to start something new. Because so many things have been brought to light. You can create new training programs, you can create new curriculums, you can have anti racist resources, you
That's
know,
right.
they can ask for different perspectives, build something different. And ask, don't be afraid to ask why. So many people don't ask why certain things are even in place, even when you know that it
right.
doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Yeah, because we've been oppressed for so long. You made a good. I'm glad you said that, Amaryllis. People
Me
don't even
too.
question. We've been oppressed so long. Sit down, shut up. You eat, you drink from this colored fountain. We've been talked to and degraded for so long.
It's the norm.
We have to get out of that. We have to get out of that mentality and that dogmatic behavior. We just like they hold us accountable, we gotta hold them accountable.
That's right. Apply that pressure. Apply that pressure. I was thinking about something too just a second ago. It'll come back to me. Y'all want to go to the
Yeah, with the
workplace?
pandemic, they wasn't even organized, you know. We had Trump as our elected president, and he had lied to the American people first and foremost. He had said that this was a hoax. It would disappear like a breath of fresh air. He has said so many things, and then 400,000 death later. Things that they have been telling us, untrustworthy, deceitful. How long we gonna continue?
Give me your bucket. I'll fix it.
How long we gonna continue to be submissive to inappropriate behavior, oppression behavior?
Especially, that's a good point. Especially since Trump pointed, with Trump in office, I hope people notice. Wealth is a big deal, and they use wealth to measure. People. It's plain and simple. They use wealth to measure people,
Yeah,
and
even your own family will tell you, "Oh, you a bum." You know, you living the best you can live. They even got your own family attacking you on the basis of status. If you got a family member that became a doctor and you haven't became oh, she's a doctor and speaking so highly of you. And hey, whether you the milk woman or the cashier, your job is just important as the doctor. So that is, I agree with that. They made it the status of your wealth, and as a our people, we have a lot of wealthy people in our culture amongst ourselves. We got thousands of lawyers, doctors, but they not in touch, and that's what hurts us. They don't come back. They don't come
well,
back to make a difference.
it's interesting too because certain minorities we have to build to that wealth, while others literally, if you're born into it, the opportunities you already start off with in conjunction with the wealth you have, it
Right.
already starts you off with a whole different, a whole different playing field.
Your
And
network is
Right.
different. Your network is different. You don't got to go out and sort out people to put you on. They already there.
different
You just gotta
opportunities,
learn the business.
yeah, different opportunities. You have different opportunities when you have wealth, and fewer opportunities when you don't, when you have lower income, living, fewer chances to build.
Exactly.
It's like, how can wealthy people have more chances of building wealth as opposed to the less wealthy?
Exactly. Yeah, because they have generational wealth. They
Even tax,
created wealth.
well, tax advantages
Yeah.
alone. That's what Trump helped point out. Even though Trump is Trump, he was the big elephant in the room, but it was clear to see the tax advantages that people attain just from being wealthy. So not only are you wealthy, but you get
Exactly.
to cut corners. So now because I'm rich, I get to cut corners. But when you're not rich, you mean to tell me you're gonna tax me for every penny, nickel, and dime? So now you're gonna help me stay in that income level. Yet you're gonna help the wealthy
Yeah.
get wealthier. That's a
That's
persistent
why I
form of
talked about, yeah.
discrimination.
Yeah, and that's why I talked about those solutions. How we need to start. If our common language is English, our kids start letting them pick up a second language as early as when they can understand or read and write. We got to be the first respondent. We can't wait. We can no longer wait.
I think, what is it, African Americans, we have maybe 1/10 of the wealth as white Americans have.
Hmm.
At least I think that was a few years ago, but I'm pretty sure it's not that much different. But a tenth of the
Nope.
wealth.
Yep. So what have we been doing wrong? That's why we have this platform. This platform, Triple T Sisters, are discussing generation things that have affected our generation. And the topic tonight is systematic oppression within our communities. Some of us, all three of us, if you haven't heard the first episode, we all came from impoverished, low living, because we was from the projects. That didn't determine our IQ. Me and Amarilee seen each other day to day more often. Simona, because she eventually moved on. But I can remember Amaryllis getting straight A's in math, like math, because her mom was smart, her dad was smart, and her grandmom was an educator. So she would just be like thin things out that normally average kids like us, we didn't know. We come to her for and just thinking how would have been different if she had or I had the same advantages of the other ethnicities that have generated wealth among their people. So we have to, like we said, come to terms, buckle down, and get a hold on this so we can make a difference for the generations to come. It don't stop when you come along. Party. Some people been partying their whole life away, Monday through Sunday.
Here's something to think
It was
about.
a time.
It's because people always are talking about, um, oh, well, why is it a black or white thing, or why does that have anything to do with anything? Okay, well, let's say we all start off with the same amount, but there's still systematic oppression. And tomorrow we go get a house. Well, a black person is likelier to get taxed more than non-black person, than a white person. So now you've already taken away more money from me. There's one way you could look at it. That's the simplest way I can give it to you. So now if the laws are different and the rules are different, we can both start off with the same thing. But now how are we going to end up in the same place doing the same exact thing if the rules are different for both of us? So now
You
over
know,
time, the
Right.
same amount of
Oh
money is
yes, y'all. Look, we got a
amount of money.
comment, y'all.
Oh, yes, Kenyatta. Thank
Amally,
you,
she can
Kenyatta
address our
Barbie.
comment.
Loving it,
Yeah,
ladies.
she's.
Great topic.
I've yes, that's our family.
Yeah, thank you. And
Yes,
that's the
thank you,
simplest way
boo.
to put
Thank
it,
you.
because people always like to say, well, we have the same things. Well, we can all have the same exact things, but if going through the race, we all get taxed differently, we all get charged differently, we all get apprehended differently, then by the
yeah.
end of that race, we not all going to end up in the same place, even if we're taking the same route. Why?
Did you
Because,
know?
go ahead.
Did you know in real estate, being black, they won't even show you certain neighborhoods. Your realtor could be black. They don't even have the listing for certain neighborhoods because they don't want us there.
They think that it'll bring the value down of
Oh
the
yeah, I can
home.
even. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
are programmed to believe that. You know, a lot of things they see on the news and a lot of neighborhoods they go to. That's another topic in itself. Like, what do we do with these communities? Because as much as we talk about growing and things we want to do, I feel like there's a portion that's so mentally gone. How do we turn that side around?
I feel like
Because
I feel that's a good. I'm glad you brought that up, Simona. I've heard somebody I was speaking with the other day. I was promoting our channel, and they was older, maybe in their 40s, and she was saying, "Well, I don't." She was like, "Well, I think we've been oppressed so long that I really can't see a way out." But I feel like once with this platform, this platform will be forever. Like 50 years, 60 years down the line, our grandkids can have something to be proud about. But I believe if we give the children of the future a platform and a voice to be comfortable, because you got churches, you got older family members, you can't even tell them about nothing. Like if you don't think like them, if you don't move like them, and some of it is dysfunctional, you know. If you don't, you different, and different is sometimes good. Change
Very
is
true.
good.
Very true.
Change is good. Good change. We ain't talking about if your mom was a prostitute, now you trying to be a prostitute. We talking about change. The prostitute mother daughter has achieved. She done went to college. She done got her own apartment. She's moving forward dimension. We need to salute her. Sometimes people, oh no, you're not. Oh, such did it like this. Oh, everybody journey is different. Like God made apples different from oranges, oranges different from grapes. We all got gifts and we all beautifully made. We all just got to tap into them, unify, and show the next generation the difference. That makes a difference.
And that goes back to different, like you said, everybody has something different to offer. And that goes back into the workforce even. So when people are starting to open up their businesses again or they start hiring again, think about that because a lot of minorities they don't get the same opportunities to work in those 401k jobs or those jobs that's offering the type of savings plans that'll allow them to have money into the later years of their life. So many different opportunities are just given to different people more so than others. So when you turn around and say, well, how come this person retired and they don't have the savings? Well, more than likely, they had to probably try and save, not, not invest in that savings plan because maybe the opportunities to receive those jobs weren't there. There's a great
Or rent, increase the rent. Just because they increase your rent don't mean they increase your pension.
that too. There's
You
been
got a lot of
historical
people that work.
segregation in the
Yep,
workforce.
right.
Cassandra, can you repeat that? You said just because they increase your rent doesn't mean what now?
They increase your
just
pension,
just cause,
meaning
Okay. Yeah, you're right about that, and that's why I had to quit the workforce. I couldn't do it no more. I'm on
right, some
entrepreneurship
people.
and driving Uber until I take off with something else. Couldn't
Oh,
be on
thank you,
that clock no
Blackberry.
more.
Yeah, Blackberry said, good job and wonderful topic, ladies. Thank you
thank
so much,
you.
Blackberry. We appreciate you on
Thank you.
behalf of the Triple T sisters. Tell everybody to subscribe, all your friends, share, comment. You on the move, we on a movement to move. We tired of being stagnated. We tired of the barriers that we face day to day, dealing with the law, dealing with education, dealing with fight amongst each other that they have laid on us since the hands of time. If you looked at the movie The Django, it was a scene that touched me. Like, you know, these things are real. Like, I can remember it was a part in the movie where Jamie, it was no, another actor fighting a black fight, and the fight was a bear, like 40, 40 ounce, and the white oppressor made the two men fight entertainment for their purpose, fight to the death. They didn't want to do that. They was sad at first, but once he told them, is if you don't do this, you're gonna be dead. So same scenario. We've been brainwashed. If you heard the first topic, we brainwashed, and then brainwashing goes into oppression. They have taught us to make believe that feel like we lesser. We only consider 3/5 of a man in the Constitution. If you know your history, you know where you're going and why things were placed in certain situations to keep us behind. And so that's what we're doing today. And we just happy for everyone tuning in because it means a lot. It makes us feel like we make a difference.
Yeah, people forget that, when slavery was upon us in that time, when they were breaking down, they were designing a system to break down an entire race of people that was supposed to last over the next 100 years and furthermore through their children and their children. And even though certain people, everyone has the power to think, you know, whatever they want to and overcome whatever it is they want to overcome. But overall, you have to want to make that difference and understand what was done to you and break out of that mentality because there was a system designed to break you down mentally, not just financially, not just physically, mentally.
Right. That's why they say the project is a mentality more than it is a place.
Right.
Because it was designed to do exactly what you just said. You know?
It was designed, for people to be selling dope to their neighbor, to their a friend they grew up with.
Yeah. The projects of it was, if I could relate it to anything, I believe that they created the project as to be the scene of crabs in a bucket.
Yep.
That's really what I believe they designed them to be, like an
Yep.
experiment. That's why they gave it that name. Let's see what they do. You create one and you see that, and then it's like, oh, let's put them up everywhere, you know?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That was a dope concept, Simone. The projects. It's a project. Yep.
That's
Yep.
probably where it got the nickname from. Shoot, I'm not even sure, but I guarantee that is because that's what they was doing. Like Amaryllis
And
was
then in the
saying,
job, yeah.
this was designed to continue until they had to come up with the next way.
Right.
At least 100. I believe they thought they could do it as long as slavery, if not half of the way.
Right.
But then again, people woke up and was hip to that. Like, I figure it out the best way I can. And that's where we are today. It's the same shit, just a different day. We have to figure out how to escape the mentality from where they have placed us and wanted us to stay and continue to tear down each other, tear down everything around us. Look at how the neighborhood is set up. Look what's around the neighborhood. You got bad eating, drugs, bad habit, anything you want. There's nothing good. But you go into another
Right.
neighborhood, you come outside. Mentally, the neighborhood is set up to create to start that creative process. If I come outside my house and see, hold on, if I come out of my house and I see all this nice stuff, I'm gonna want to sample one by one. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So us when you come out the house, what you see, it don't even matter if it's good or bad. You just want to go with what you see. You know what I'm saying? You come out your house and store, time's gonna get hard enough. Eventually, you're gonna go in there. You know, it's just the neighborhood was just set up to continue to fail. And like even now, you see
Yeah.
it. You see these neighborhoods, the coffee shop, the gym. They got the damn realtor there. They got like I'll be driving around Georgia. Atlanta is perfect. You could go to certain neighborhoods and you be like, damn, over here it ain't nothing but a chicken wing joint, a liquor store, and a loan place to continue to never get out of debt. Crazy.
It's
Yeah,
funny you
every
said
black
that because
community,
it's
every black community, you can guarantee liquor lotto.
Liquor, lotto, chicken, and credit. Somewhere to keep
Shooting.
borrowing some money.
it's funny you said that because someone I was listening to something and they said, it's funny how you build in certain communities, like in particular white communities, you'll start seeing developments of like banks and jobs and all these different opportunities that are positive. But then you go into a black community and they consistently want to make sure that none of those wealth building developments are around you. You know what I mean? They don't want to make your community have the support around it that's going to allow you to think in building wealth. You know,
Yeah,
they
take
want to send you to
it
that
from us.
lotto, they want to send you to that liquor store, but you got to now move out of that community so that you have access to when you wake up and leave your house, there's a bank. When you wake up and leave your house, there's a park. When you wake up and you leave your house, there's other things to access. And it's sad because who's to say that if you don't have like a projects, for example, if you don't start building these other things around it, that these people can't become and set their mind towards something different. You kind of, like Simona said, mentally, that's what you're waking up to and that's all you're going to, even though you can escape it. But what's, and I hate to say it, what's easier? And everyone's not going to always look to go 5 blocks further or 10 blocks further. And unfortunately, why should you? Because if I lived in a different community, I could just step out my house and it's right there. The
Yeah.
information is right there. It's like the information is hidden. So now we got to search for the information. We got to share that information. We got to, hustle and bustle to even find what people are just attaining just because they woke up and asked for it.
Right. And it's crazy because, like you said, even if you don't even work or you go out of your community several times a day, probability says it's more than likely you're going to frequent the things that are near you. So strategically, that's what was near us. That's what's near our communities. It's a whole portion of Atlanta. When I'm driving, when I do things, I don't even go over there. I make sure that I'm not over there. And then it's crazy. It's crazy because these communities are they are is our people, but I don't know what to do. Excuse me, like if I happen to have an end up there, it makes no sense. I don't even know. I feel like this is a lot.
You,
That's
eh,
a
You just,
whole nother show.
no,
Well,
well, it's
you
like
ain't
I'm
never
going
access.
lied. Like y'all know I'm in Ypsilanti. I'm 10 minutes away from University of Michigan. That's like the top tier. And then I'm like 40 minutes from Detroit. Now Detroit used to be Motown, greatest singers. Y'all know the
hmm
script. You go down there, y'all, it's like a third world country. It's like a third world country. They even have indicator lights, like they alarm green. Like if anybody robbed the store, like it automatic police attention.
We
Um,
have those in Atlanta. Yep.
so
Yep.
you already know. So I don't even like Simona said. Like I love Detroit. Like they got everything. They got good hair. They got good, good food. They got. It's just black. Like to be where Motown was at is everything. But the way they set it up, not funding, the lack of resources, is like no place should look like a third world country.
They just gotta
Not
No
improve
even
the
America the
place.
Great.
access to the things that would help create, opportunities for us to build in different ways. Because we have to create it too on all levels, everyone, whoever you are, black, white, whatever. You
Right.
have to find a way to create it. But it's just so different when you actually have access to it. And that's where the
Right.
systematic oppression comes in. A lot of minorities don't have access to so many things
No.
that people just are born with access to.
Right.
Right. Oh, like let me tell you, like I spent some time in the South. My latter day years, I moved back with my grandparents at the age of 16, and I had to get out of that. Like I had moved from the inner city, Brooklyn, to where crickets, and I was overlooking a cornfield. So I
Mm.
couldn't believe, and that was in 2000, like early 2000, that they had places that didn't have a mass transit. Like it's black people, if you don't have a car or you obtain a car, that determines if you have a job. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that, growing up, that people didn't have
Hmm.
access. Me in New York, all of us is from Brooklyn. We can go 5 minutes radius to a bus and to a
Yup.
train.
Yup.
And these buses and trains are operating at a mass service every 10 minutes, every fifth is like clock. When I came to desolated areas, I couldn't believe, like, this is how they set it up. Like, no bus, no access, not even a library in the community. Like, you got some communities down south or wherever, they don't even have a public library.
No. You want to hear something crazy? While you're talking about buses, right? There's a city. My mother lives there now, and I'm gonna give you the breakdown of what happened in this community. When I first came down south, 1999, I went to Mount Zion High School. My freshman year, my best friend was a white girl who got left back, but she drove a Mustang and was the head cheerleader. How you getting left back, number one, but you the head cheerleader? 16 years old. She had a brand new 1999 Mustang the year it came out. It was a convertible. I rode horses with her. I learned how to put on makeup with her. Stupid as can be. But this was the head cheerleader. Now, by 10th grade, they put a bus in that community, And me and my father wanted to be out of eye, so I came back to New York, went to high school up here. 2002, second half, 11th grade. I'm like, I'm going back down south. I get here, they gonna put a bus in the community now that'll take you from Clayton County to Atlanta. 2 years later, all these black people done moved there. They buying houses. They doing very well. They got a bus. Something happened to the vehicle. Now they can get to work. That didn't even go a good year. They decided to take the bus system away.
Wow.
Not even 3 months later, they were giving people vouchers from the city of Atlanta. Every last bit of projects they was trying to get rid of, they gave them vouchers to come out to Clayton County. So you can only imagine what went on there. They waited. It was almost like they waited to see where we were gonna migrate. And it was crazy because as you watch, when I came back, you notice how the new businesses change. Like different things, people like I had another friend, her father was trying to start another type of business. He had been denied several times for a business loan in this county. But today, in 2021, he has a barbershop. But in 2005, they wouldn't let him get it because it was almost like they were indecisive what kind of neighborhood this was going to be yet. But once they gave those vouchers and decided this is where we're going to relocate the poorest of the poor of Atlanta, and we're going to put them here, everybody who was looking for any type of business that got to do with things in our community were getting approved for loans like hotcakes. It was crazy. Like they was trying to build this up. It was really the same community starting over again. You couldn't get no money to build something here unless your business was going hand in hand with what they was trying to do. Meanwhile, you'll get denied for a different type of loan in another community because somebody of another color, the Indians are coming already to put their gas station. They already coming with Hollywood hair salons. They already coming with certain stuff, and it was so crazy seeing that. But at that age, I didn't understand what they was doing. And today, Clayton County is not as bad as it had got after that because they cleaned it up. But it was crazy to watch how they really did that. And they used eminent domain to buy people out of their properties that own stuff in Atlanta. It was literally like, we don't care where you go. You getting the hell out of here because I'm from the government and I'm telling you that this is how long you got in your house. You wouldn't sell it to me the last 3 times I tried to buy it, so now I'm taking it. Get out of
Well,
here.
we
That was literally what
see that in Brooklyn.
yeah, with the
We
Jews.
see that in
Absolutely.
Brooklyn. We go there, yeah. We go there now. It don't look like
Absolutely.
nothing.
Yep.
It don't look
I
like
couldn't
nothing
believe
we
her.
grew up in.
It was crazy.
People don't realize that these these whatever they have within the system, because that all of that is a banking system. They have their rules, they have their ways. All of those systematic things and those changes when the bus route left and when they decide who we're gonna give these loans to, all of those things are designed that way. Those policies,
Yeah.
everything, that's a choice. That's what they choose to do. And
Right.
it's not really it's wrong. I'm not even gonna say it's not really right. It's wrong because you're kind of steering the system in a direction that you want it to go in. Even when we graduated college that year, Cassandra, that's when the housing
Yeah.
market wasn't it everything was going down and all
Yeah.
of a sudden
After
people couldn't
September
afford it.
11th.
Yeah, everything was horrible. And the funny
But
thing
then
Horrible
is
what
job
they
too,
market.
said,
the turnaround though, when people started buying the homes, they didn't realize
Yep.
that they were just gladly giving out home loans to people who couldn't even like you can't even afford it.
yep,
So you're
yep,
kind of banking on the fact that these people are going to have to sell their homes within a year or two as well. You're
Yeah.
controlling the market, and
it's
you
funny
know
you
who you're
say
giving
that
it to.
because you know the bank Washington Mutual, that's the reason why they went down. All of those home loans, and there was an investigation that went into how they did that, and that's what got them caught up. And that bank
Because they didn't have the they giving out these loans to people who couldn't even truly back it. But at the time,
yeah,
they could probably afford it. But when people can and cannot truly afford, but it makes you look good at the time if you give out all these loans. It makes the economy look great that all these black people, so to speak, are buying these homes, even though we know we can't afford it in the long run, like in the big scheme of things, especially at a time when there's supposed to be a recession. So essentially, the banks get what they want, and they know sooner or later the house is going back to them anyway. You're literally creating a system to fuck people over so that you look good. You know what I mean? And so that the bank keeps their money. The bank gets their homes back. And then all these people are what? They're left to figure it out. Instead of trying to create a system where you're actually going to help these people maintain it, because we all have to work sooner or later. If you've been someone working your entire life, you know that you're going to have to work. You know you're going to be working. If this person can prove that you can't work with those people to make sure they keep their homes, even the people that wanted loans after the bus, you said the bus system had stopped and now these people want car loans and they want all types of specific businesses to come through for the loans. You can't help other people get other types of business loans knowing that those businesses may flourish. Why are you trying to control the market to such a
Yeah. And
degree
so,
where now these people can't prosper?
it's already
yeah.
plans made.
And it
Go
brings
ahead.
us to our every segment we have a topic. The topic is systematic oppression, and since it's Black History Month, we also have a quote by a special Black pioneer, and his name is George Washington Carver. He was a scientist, and one of his greatest quotes that we like to recite today is fear of something is at a root of hate for others, and hate within will eventually destroy the hater. Keep your thoughts free from hate, and you need have no fear from those who hate you. So have no fear. Have no fear. Have no fear to start a business. Have no fear to start educating your children outside of the mainstream system that they design. Have no fear to help your brother, sister, a neighbor, people within our culture. Always need a helping hand. Start.
No, she was on a roll. What
I,
happened?
I don't know what happened. It could have been her connection. My goodness. I don't know what happened.
She was about to tell that. I was listening to. I was
she
running to. I was ready to give her a hand clap because she was for real. I love that telling black people it's time not to be scared of none of this shit.
I'm sure she's gonna come back. Let me see. But just to recap what she said, yeah, fear, what George Washington Carver, fear is something that is at the root of hate for others, and hate within will eventually destroy the hater. Keep your thoughts free from hate, and you need not have fear from those who hate you. Because literally, this is an entire system designed. I mean, I hate to say it, but it is designed based on hate because there would be no other reason to not want to help people truly equally. Like I said earlier, me and Simona, what if Simona was a white woman and I'm a black woman? We both start off with $100,000 today. We try to go both buy a home. Simona gonna get a better rate than me. She gonna get showed houses in better neighborhoods than me. Her car loan might have a lower rate than mine. And it's just a whole bunch of things along the line are not going to be the same. Therefore, we could be doing the same thing, but the system is designed to keep us at the same level. Cassandra's back. I
Right.
reiterated the quote for you, but we wanted to hear the
Good.
rest.
Yeah, so I said, and what we should take from that is the subject at hand, have no fear. Have no fear to be an entrepreneur. Let's stop, like we said, brainwashing our kids to be things that they are not. Start tapping into things that they want to do and have interest in. Have no fear to break away from the 40-hour workload. Start donating your time to the youth. Start creating some recreational programs. I remember the settlement house. At least you remember the settlement house.
I do, although I didn't have the luxury
Well,
of going as often as I wished, but yeah, I do.
we went, and this place was an organization that seek to help those communities that didn't have the resources. We did activities like soccer. They helped us write writing workshops. We did a lot of
Mm.
things there, and we don't have those things no more. So have no fear to to give back. Have no fear to help your fellow neighbor, your fellow sister. Have communications. Tap in. We are the number one. We have the number one buying power. Without us, without our money, the whole world would stop. I was so upset when Kilpatrick had was protesting for our rights as to have equality rights for all mankind, and his a team wouldn't even support him. Imagine if the whole football team, football league would have protested and believed in something as a whole. What difference it would have made? We got to stop having
Mhm.
fear. We have to stop having fear. And that's what I had to say on that.
Yeah, and like Cassandra said, like we need to really seek alternative methods. Seek all avenues if you have to, as many as you want. Don't be afraid to steer your children into what may seem different, but it might be the answer. It's alternative methods are okay. These are the things that shape our country, that shape the development of so many things. Even from like our quote, George Washington Carver. He sought many alternatives to cropping and creating even just peanut butter. So many different things he did through science. And it probably at the time wasn't the most common way of seeking ways of doing cropping and, just picking cotton, things of that nature. I hope that didn't sound very, but the point is he sought alternative ways to get
Right.
things.
It did. You know, I actually picked cotton before, y'all.
And
I picked.
I picked one piece. I picked one piece.
I
Grandma
did
let
that.
me pick one piece.
Mhm. I had a good friend die at 31 from cancer, and she was buried in her hometown of Mississippi, Louisville, Mississippi, and on the way on the way to the funeral, we saw that, and I was like, and it just sparked up a conversation about our ancestors, and we just pulled over. I was like, I really I want to see what their hands felt, and it was the ugliest thing. Like that's crazy. Like it's crazy. Like that's motivation for me to want to do good. When I think about what they had to go through, it the anger makes me get motivated. That's why I was like, I can't go back to work anymore because I was like, I gotta figure out a way to get off of these people clock. I gotta figure out a way to be successful and be able to give back because there's so much shit that bother me about the extreme poor community. And I'm like, yo, the way that I talk to them is completely different. Like, I want to know what the fuck is going on over here. Like, I want to know. Like, it's just time to figure out what is going on with our people.
Right. Yeah, we got to take the
It's
time now. So many people before us been, stripped away from everyday living, working, a single
yeah,
parent homes. They have to.
we out
They're
here
trying to see.
hurting.
Yeah, people
We
are
are out
hurting.
here
So
hurting.
yeah, we got to help each other.
You
We have to
know?
help each other. That's the common goal. Help one another to so that if one make it, we all made it.
Mhm.
We
That
have to stop
frustration
that hating.
has got to be
Oh,
a fuel.
why? Well, she doing it. I can't do it. You can do anything you put your mind to. We all can
And
do
at
it.
the end of the day, what her calling is from God is not for yours. You
Right.
know, that's another thing. People just gotta stop, take it outside the race, stop looking at other people for what gift God planted in them. It's not yours. That's why they enjoying that. Now, if you stop focusing on that, you can step into what's for you.
It's
Right.
okay to be. People think it's you have to be. I hate to go back to my grandmother's words, common. You don't have to be so common. It's okay to be uncommon. That's
Yeah.
when so much more
Right.
happens.
Mm. Yeah. That's where I'm at in life. It wasn't, it was different. You know? But turning things around and wanting to go to the next level, it'll do that to you. It'll awaken a lot. And that's like Cassandra was saying, we just gotta continue to be fearless, move on, find new ways to communicate, number one.
Yes. Yes. New ways to communicate. Everybody not made to, think the same way, do things the same way. We can always have progressive dialogue without offending someone. Like we said, the common goal is success. If we all communicate effectively, we can progress. And like we said throughout this whole segment, we've been oppressed. We've been taught to hate each other. We've been taught to just do things the wrong way. And it's hard, to break away from that mindset, but we have to. Like, it's a desperate need at this point. Like like I was saying,
It
how long
sure is.
more can we take? How
Mhm.
long can we take? How much more? Because if we don't act now, we're going to be a dying culture.
Mhm. We also need to be aware because over time the enemy has been constant. It goes from the enemy we can see to the enemy that switched its face, you know? And it's like Even in a lot of old school Tupac lyrics, you know, he telling us, he was like,
Right.
you know, especially when he telling us, don't be a fucking victim. We know what they are doing. So why we can't see this shit, you know? When we already know. It's like turning the same trick over and over and over. You know what to expect. It's just ridiculous at this
Right.
point.
And that's just the Brooklyn in us, you know. Anybody from out of the
I'm
states,
talking to
you
my damn
know,
self because I'm grown.
don't don't get offended, you know. We just was born to express ourselves in a different manner, you know.
You know,
But enough is enough. I
it's
will agree with
love.
my
It's
host.
all love. It's all love.
Yep,
Definitely,
but
that's why.
enough is enough. I agree. Enough is enough. We have the children are the future. We have to give them a platform so that they continue to pass the baton the right way. You know, we have
Yeah.
time is now. The time is now. There's no more
And
waiting.
it's crazy because I believe that the listeners, like, they can understand that we frustrated, but they can also
Oh,
understand
Na-
that we really, really believe in this shit.
sorry.
Like
Nathaniel is
100%.
here. I'm gonna add him. Sorry, Simona.
Oh
But go
yeah.
ahead, finish speaking, Simona. Hey, Nathaniel. Thanks
Yo,
for
what's up, yo?
joining us.
Of course, yes,
Hey,
yes.
Daniel.
It's my pleasure.
He on the move. How
Always
you
on the
doing?
move.
Word. Which I don't want to interrupt your conversation. If yours remember, but go ahead. I don't want to interrupt it. I'll join in when y'all ready.
Oh, we had just had a moment where the True Brooklyn came out, and you know, we
Ooh,
was just talking because it's like, yo, me and Cassandra was stressing the idea, you know, of it's just time for us to do this, for Black people to come together and start coming back and trying to save some of these communities and what's going on mentally. You know what I'm saying? We talking about the war on drugs, the war on the government, and the war on putting these things in our community for us to be failures. And we was also in the Merrillys, we was all going in talking about, you know, even these Tupac lyrics, been warning us, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right,
it's just time to stop being a victim because we know what the enemy is up to, no
mm,
matter how many times the face change. We know. And we was talking about solutions and like starting to trying to get out of complaining and what we gonna do and
right,
how we gonna move forward with these
right,
things because we need this right now.
right.
Oh, thank you, Joe. He said, great topic. In my city, Canada, the city now plans for mixed income housing and new development. I remember watching the movie The Empires Club in 2002. It changed my schoolwork ethics.
Shout
Thanks for joining, Joey. Shout out
out
to
to Joe.
Joey.
Shout out to Joe. Now it's crazy because Pac definitely. I mean, if you want to look at a visionary, you just listen to Pac, man. All you got to do is get on YouTube and listen to Pac's interviews. He was already preparing us, warning us everything, and somehow, man, he
Mm-hmm.
got lost in his sauce, man. I don't even know. I think it happened in between like 2005 and 2010, just in that small window. But I think we lost some serious focus, man, because shit is just really outrageously retarded right now. So yeah, I feel that anybody that's a visionary now, instead of all these dudes that everybody's come on, you got so many groupie dudes. It's just outrageous. Like nobody could just tell a person, man. Like it's terrible out here, man. I swear to God, like you have no idea how many things that I deal with, man. Where I'll hear arguments and I'll lay low and I'll listen. A lot of times it'll be like arguments that you know you want to join in, like let me jump in. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna chill on this one. I'm gonna listen to this. I'm like, wow. And I'm like, yo, you ain't joining? I'm like, nah, I'm gonna listen to this one. I'm just enjoying because it's just sad that a person could have a conversation and talk peace. And then within 3 minutes of the conversation, they talking hatred, right? And then they go back and talking peace, then they talking some other crap. I'm like, yo, Then at the end, it's like, yo, we all got to stick together. I'm like, yo, hold on. But 2 minutes into the conversation, you said this. It's like, no, I didn't. I'm like, you did. You said it. Like, playing it back, and it's still like, I didn't say it. I'm like, I played it back for you still. You said that's like, we have reached that level now where it's outrageous. You got a lot of your sisters. That's why I really was telling Marilyn this, how important it is for a lot of Black women to really start speaking out. Don't try to look like you hating. Like, let the Kardashians know y'all stole our shit and ain't give us no credit.
See, told you.
Tell them that shit. Like, tell Black dudes, like, yeah, dude, that's why you weak. That's why you run over there buying prostitutes in Latin America versus a real woman. Like, you got to stand on that, because I'm doing this already. I'm telling all these cornballs this, and they're like, yo, but they, they got to be feminine. I said, what do you talk about feminine? What does that mean? What do you talk about? Just because you can't get a woman ideally that you want, and now you want to destroy the whole race of Black women, American women, and put everybody down.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel Black sisters, y'all let people just get away with murder. They take everything from y'all and claim it. Like, this is my shit I created. I'm like, what? Hold on. When we had ass and titties, it was a joke. When we was doing this, it was a joke. It's terrible. Even if you look at, in regards to the rap songstresses like Little Kim and Foxy, how much they hated each other. Now you got Cardi and Nicki, how much they hated each other. I'm like, yo, can we have a ladies' first concert and everybody pay homage to? Like, you stole this one style. She was talking about Chanel in 95 and how you
Yo, that's so real.
It's crazy, man. It's really
I
disgusting.
can agree with what you say. Yeah, like we did
Absolutely.
I could agree with you, because you know what? When we was growing up, like, television is everything. When I was growing up, I used to look forward to watching Moesha. I
Right.
used to look forward to watching Family Matters. I used to look forward to watching School Days.
Yes.
That's when I knew I wanted to go to an HBCU. Shout out to South
Yes.
Carolina State
No question.
University. Being in the projects of Brooklyn, we didn't know nothing about Divine Nine, so I blame TV. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
Right.
some of these people are lost. Our Black women don't even know their worth. You know what I'm
Nope.
saying?
Nope.
So I feel like that's why we got this platform to kind of give the youth the behind the scenes. Like, all three of us, I'm not sure, but I know we all got some type of form of degree. We all
Yes.
ass shaking.
Yes.
We got families. So we trying to show a different light. That
You got
you can do it. You
values.
can overcome.
Right.
Yeah,
You got
values.
values. Y'all
Right.
got values, and you can't let society, because they're gonna tell you the minute you talk, they're gonna be like, oh, they angry or they hating or whatever. Like, yo, just I'm telling you right now, ignore that shit, because they do that to me, and I destroy a lot of these people with facts. It's like, stop. I feel Black women, as strong as Black women are, I feel that they let society just steal everything, and then y'all let them take the credit, and they don't give y'all none. Like, how can you have a position of the Amber Roses and Kim Kardashians, and they don't even pay homage to sisters? How could you be a Black woman such as Nicki Minaj? You ain't even giving Kim the credit. Like, how is it that you not? At least Mary J. Blige is constantly crying on stage every time she thinks of Shaka Khan. She like, yo, Shaka is my idol. You know what I mean? Like, she's always paying homage. That's why she does songs. Like, none of these songstresses even make a song. Like, I think What You Call It did do it. I think what's homegirl from the Bronx? Remy Ma actually did a remix with Lil' Kim. That was cute, but it still was like, all right, come on, Remy, you and Nicki was close. So, like,
yeah, I could have got the bar. I could have got another bar too.
Right. Like, come on, like, just stop the. And believe it or not, this nonsense happens. No matter how rich and famous these girls are, the stubborn nonsense is the same shit we see in our community. Where I'm like, yo, sisters, the more stubborn you are, that white woman is gonna just be taking your man. She's gonna be taking your style.
That's literally what I was thinking.
But
That's
where
what you say. How you say you watch Family Ties.
Sometimes I feel like I'm brought in the wrong generation. Where did we lose our
I second
sisterhood
that.
from the 1960s? Where did we lose our brotherhood, our unity, our I got the Kool-Aid, I don't got the sugar, but if you got the sugar, you can have a cup
That's a
of
good
this
question.
Kool-Aid. Like, what happened to that?
I think
Like, I thought we
I
lost
think
our.
I think the millennium. I think 2000s somehow, some way, when love music and R&B started to become a thing of the past, more or less, they started to push that out. It's like that's the only thing we had left was rhythm and blues. Now it was like we all, like in the early 90s when we had Dr. Dre and gangsta hip hop, we still was able to interact. But now when we totally don't have nothing, like we don't got love. There's no love right now amongst us. Like what kept us with love, the Marvin Gaye, the 1970s and grooves, the 90s, early 2000s. That's why you ever hear people say R&B, they always go 70s, 80s, and early
Right.
2000s.
And I still listen to that too. I be
Right,
jamming. Like, I be
right.
telling my kids, we be listening to MJ. They be like, "Woo."
I listen to all that because that's what keeps me going. But you know what? See, the thing is with these white folks, they listen to it too. And they study our shit. Like all them shows you talking about, they remember Good Times wasn't produced by a black man. Jefferson's wasn't produced by a black man. Different Strokes wasn't produced by a black. All these shows were produced by white people that loved our culture. So now you got people like
Yeah.
Vlad TV that's showing us like, all right, there's not one. Did you know on YouTube there's not one black impresario such as Vlad TV? Everybody's a radio station. Charlemagne, Big Boy, all them guys are radio station. Do you know Vlad TV is the only dude that actually does black media, and he's a Jewish dude? There's not one black dude that's mastering that shit above Vlad TV on YouTube. Not one. They can sit up there and grab their little celebrity sleuth and go to what's the name of the site? What's the shit that's on YouTube? I mean Instagram, where they're always posting up everything that's going on.
Shade Room.
Shade Room, right. So they go to Shade Room and just grab that. Vlad is interviewing. That's why people like, why is Vlad get all these people? They so stupid. They going to get convicted and soon they go on the show. I'm like, yo, there's nobody else. You're either going to go to a radio station or him. There's no one else. So Fat Joe trying to do his thing or whatever. And, what's a whole bunch of other rappers trying to do their thing with these streams, but it's still not as powerful as Vlad. He got like 7 million damn viewers. His videos on a bad day is going to do a million. So even what's happening, people know on a publicity level, he's the only one that could get their lives back together. We don't have a black radio station. We lost 98.7 Kiss tour and never got replaced. You know what I'm saying? So now we lost that. We lost Michael Baisden. We lost brothers that was teaching us mad shit. So now we on YouTube, and now women gotta suffice to Kevin Samuels because if they disagree with him, they a hater. If they agree with him, then they lost. So it's just screwed up. It's screwed up. So to answer your question, I think we lost that shit. Honestly, I think we lost it around. I think shit really got bad when YouTube started.
You think that's a mental thing, though? That's what we were talking about. Like
that's oppression.
It's like in our mind, not ours, but in certain minds, it's like you said, they have they on the radio station. They doing all these things for the other man. They doing all these things for somebody else's pocket. Why they not creating their own? Like it's a mental thing, like to just stay enslaved in that type of environment rather than to create your own, so to speak.
I think
to be on top.
I don't think a lot of black men and women feel they need to put in the work for something we should know already. So we feel as if like our research. Why should we research? Like we still supposed to research it, even if we know. I know a lot of shit, but you still got to research it. So Vlad TV is researching this shit, and he's got people. He got a staff. He researches everything, hardcore, every day, 24/7. My man used to work for him. So when you got these other dudes, they'll interview a few artists, and then all of a sudden it's like we become the one like DJ Academics, where we're like, we're gonna set you up, and because everybody want to be a Charlemagne. So I'm like, dude, it's okay when this white dude can do that shit because you expect him to do that, but how you DJ Academics and you trying to throw us under the bus? That's why Vlad is winning. So a lot of blacks, we in a position to be above Vlad, but we don't choose the route. We don't want to put in the work. We almost don't feel like we should put in work. We feel that we're entitled not to put in the work because we black. Like I've been there. I've seen hip hop. I remember the Fat Boys album. I remember Run DMC. I remember the Sugar Hill Gang when they all started. So we feel as if we don't have to do that. Meanwhile, he brings these people in as guests because he knows he studied them. So I feel like a lot of people that's on YouTube or any circuit, they not necessarily pushing the pen hard enough. Like there's no reason why we in a position now where alternative music, for example, like singers like Halsey. Here's a woman that is straight a sister, and you would never believe. You think she was white if you look at her, but she's straight up a black, half black. You know what I mean?
I
She's
love
straight up
her.
half black.
Yes.
Her music is talking about the
Yes.
same shit in hip hop. She talk about love. You
Yep.
got mag songwriters and all those damn producers, them black producers are fucking with them now because they're, excuse my French, they having all these producers worldwide with the sound of kind of mixing hip hop, R&B with a touch of pop. So now we allowed that now because now we like, well, shit, Usher's like, well, shit, I'll make a pop record now. You know, all these artists be like, I'll make a pop record. You got people like Chris Brown that's still able to do half pop, half hip hop, quarter this, quarter that, but he makes an album every 2-3 years, and he could do that because he's Chris Brown. But why is it that he's the only one? Why is it that we don't have no artists right now? Old school artists now are considered Donnell Jones. How is he an old school artist? Like,
But
how is it that
do
you
you
ain't making
feel
no
like
records no more?
But do you feel like artists that was trying to like make a difference, like Nipsey Hussle, and like how we discussing systematic oppression, how they took him out amongst another brother, killing him right in front of his place of business?
Oh
Do
yeah.
you feel like when we do find a way, they find a way to put us back where we was at? Like, hey
Yeah,
nigga,
yeah.
get back there.
Well, see, that's a great question. Fantastic question. The thing is with the Nipsey situation, that's just a continuation of the supremacy of losing Malcolm X, from losing Tupac. I mean, anybody
Right.
right now that's trying to keep us together, you know, listen, they
Right.
won't even sign a deal. You can't even do a deal and go into a record company right now and be having no peaceful shit. They don't even want to hear that. Like, you better go do your little, you know, sultry song, whatever artist. But now what it is
Spotify.
that situation is showing you that where are our leaders? Who do we look up to? It's like, do we have Nipsey or we gonna look at Young Thug? Because Young Thug got a less chance of dying in his hood versus you got a dude like Nipsey that's helping the hood, trying to get everybody together, doing
Right.
research, showing people, black people, that you ain't got to put all these poisons in your blood. You can do natural herbs, and then he goes. Left Eye trying to show the same thing, then he goes. So it's all about now. We got to look at the fact that Nipsey was just more relatable because he looked like one of us. He was relatable. He looked like a West Coast black dude, which he was. He was relatable. He was smart, showing people that, yo, just because you got cornrows in your hair don't mean that you can't be magnificent.
Right.
And he ain't no coon. But I feel that as long as we keep losing people like the Nipseys, all we gonna have to do is to look at damn, you know, drug addicts in the game, which is a lot of our greatest sickness, which is unfortunate. But I feel that the Nipsey thing was just showing you that even after Tupac, we still ain't learned nothing. It's still going in a horrible direction right now. I'm gonna tell you something. When Nipsey got killed, a lot of people don't even know a Nipsey record. They don't, but they know
That was
what his
crazy.
movement was about. That was the most disrespectful thing you could ever do. But yet, you know, all these other dudes that's wild, and you know, I mean, we look at the whole situation that happened to, you know, what's the name? Pop Smoke a year ago. That was dirty, but at the end of the day, it was like they're gonna look at it as, damn, what a loss. And I'm like, all right, well, it's a loss, and then we promoting gang violence, but damn, this dude was against all that, and then he was a loss, but his legend got wiped out a little bit with the COVID situation that came in because they couldn't really give him his real flowers the way they were supposed to, especially even now. I mean, hopefully they could 2 years later. It's almost 2 years ago. But I feel the Nipsey situation just shown that everything that Pac, all these dudes died for, like Stick Together. Prince was part of that. They keep killing them, man. I really believe it's a
Yeah.
conspiracy with that.
You
And
think
they
that's
put
part
the
of
black
the?
men to kill them.
You think that's part of the? Well, we talked about systematic oppression in all these different areas like job, the housing market, things like that. But in a certain way, it's like the music industry is being oppressed to a degree or forcibly being steered in like one direction to keep the generation at a certain level of ignorance. You think?
Right. That's it. I mean, think about it. You don't want to empower um, a community, a race of people that don't have financial literacy. Like, right? So you like, we have spending power, which is great. Like they benefit from that,
Yep,
corporately.
that's what we
But
said. Yeah.
you don't want to wisen them up when they stop buying dumb shit. You don't want to wisen them up when they stop doing dumb shit. So it's almost to the fact that the dude that's talking peace and love and let's stick together, he's considered, a nerd or a square. So now the black woman starts to get poisoned by that. Like, maybe they right. Maybe he is square. So she almost starts believing that the good guy is a cornball, and that shit just goes on. Now you see the situation in relationships. Now a lot of these black good dudes, quote unquote, they scared to approach a woman because they feel, number one, a black woman is more dominant than any woman on this earth. So they're already afraid to approach her. They don't think she wants to because they feel that everybody want to be Diddy. So yes, it is poisonous, and it affects the woman, the male, and the female. So as women try to increase that, they got to start looking at and checking brothers too. At the end of the day, like, yo, you know what I'm saying? All that little extra shit you wearing on them Chanels don't really mean nothing to me. Like, that shit is corny. And then dudes will kind of wake up like, damn, maybe she right. Because 5 years later, he's gonna realize I didn't have to spend $2,000 on them sneakers. That was dumb. But the black woman now has to start speaking out, like take advantage of the fact that, yes, okay, you got a vice president. Granted, God forbid something happened to Biden, this woman is going to be the president of the United States. So people wasn't against the fact that Biden already was coming in there. They were against the fact that, God forbid something happened to him, there's going to be a black woman and a Jewish man behind her. So why is it that women ain't taking, like that shit came and went. Like they forgot the fact that, yo, there's a black woman that made history here on top of Obama's wife. They're not embracing that. They just going on the strength of like, well, Meg Thee Stallion and what you call is doing a record with what's the white girl's name? I guess they got a record together. I forgot the white singer's name, but that shit don't mean nothing. Like that shit is all corporate. Let's get this money. Jay-Z and Beyonce's behind Megan, so they're gonna be like, yo, listen, fuck the culture, get your bread. And it shouldn't be all about the bag. So once sisters start speaking up and they start realizing that sisters is a little more than just rambunctious, hey, what you call it? She didn't hold none of that shit back to vice president. When she was up in there on them damn debates, she was on some straight up like, listen, watch your mouth. I'm talking, you know what I mean? Like she was letting it be known. She ain't never hold her shit back. And I think sisters need to start running on that bandwagon, on that gravy train. Like, hello, like y'all in the White House again. Like, you know what I'm saying? You could do a lot more. It's a woman's time. And they don't tell you it's a woman's time. They tell you they don't tell you it's a black woman's time. They tell you it's a woman's time. It's been a black woman's time since nearly last year. Black Lives Matter, all that shit is a movement. It ain't even our movement. That's a white man's movement they created. I mean, we appreciate it, but black women just need to realize they value. I think black women don't, they underrate themselves in this society.
Well,
I really believe that.
Joey
I'm so
said,
glad that that's a good topic that you discussed it, how we are a movement in itself. And that's a prime example that how if we come together as a whole, we can move mountains. And that's what we're talking about. Being fearless about taking a progressive action to be a better culture, to be a better generation. We got to stop being fearful amongst each other and amongst them. We got to take progressive actions so that we
Yes.
can make it better.
You have, they're giving you all the seniority to do it. They're giving you,
Yep.
I mean, everything from reparations to be a minority times two. You're a black woman, so you're minority times two, which is great. You know, people need to realize, black women need to realize their advantages, and they don't realize it. It's almost like we can't look at a woman in a game because obviously entertainment is bigger than politics, right? So entertainment is the trends. That's where the trendsetters come in. So how is it that us black men, we created the trends, but we best to make sure we get our credit? Because if a white dude trying to be like us, he gonna let it be known he gonna pay homage because he feel like gonna get the shit beat out of him. But the sisters is letting everybody slide through, and it's like, yo, how y'all ain't coming together doing this? How is this person saying they created that, and Y'all ain't speak up. How's this person in this job? You ain't speak up. Why is it? I interviewed a sister 2 weeks ago on my channel, and it was a black airplane pilot. A sister, 5'3". I don't know. She ain't no big, little chick. She had 2 kids. She married to another dude. But at the end of the day, she pushing them big ass commercial jets, and she's telling us that half of 1% of black women are literally airplane pilots in the United States. You know how many women is that? That's like 7 pilots. That's terrible. That's terrible. 7? But we all go on planes and take selfies and not realize who's flying this shit. It's crazy. So that was one example of how limited we are, black women are in aviation, even a black man too, but not as bad as the woman. And it's sad to me where it's like, if we had more leaders like telling sisters like, yo, y'all better come on now, like get this shit together. It ain't like you got to be married to a white man for where she got to. Don't take it that way. I'm just speaking in terms of they kind of let that go over their head when Obama was in with his wife. It's almost like they were embracing Jay-Z and Beyonce more than Obama and his wife. And they didn't even understand that the
That's
Jay-Z
the
and
brainwashing.
Beyonce. Yeah, it's like I need to get the baller like Jay-Z versus, why not just get you an educated man that used to be a senator and push him to be the president of the United States? Anybody can run for president. A lot of people don't know that. Anybody can run. I can run for president. You don't have to have no credentials. People vote you.
We seen that last year, Nate. We seen that last year. We seen that with Trump.
Yes. We see that with that dick.
We seen that with Trump.
We see that. So when you see this asshole they got in here, and you like, well, damn. I was inspired. A lot of people that went over a lot of people's heads too. Like, yo, this is some bullshit. I'm like, that means if he could do this shit, fuck, let me put my work in here. And that's the thing. We have to start looking at what your advantages is rather than the topic. Like, how is this a benefit? What benefit would y'all with this channel? You want to get a benefit? Start getting into these groups, these MGTOW groups, incels, and start responding. Start responding to the black man that's putting down women in America and letting them know how y'all valuable, why y'all valuable. We cook, we clean, we got careers, we got good jobs. Like, start answering these bozos, because those are the bozos that's majority of the world thinks how they think. So if you could break history by doing the research, by responding to and letting people know, listen, I'm a black woman, I'm a proud black woman, I got my shit together. I don't care if I'm a teacher. I don't care if I work in a laundromat, but you ain't going to judge me and put me down because you're going to feel as if a prostitute's going to take over. You got to run with that presentation, because that's the current situation that's going on now. A lot of dudes right now are feeling like black women are no good for them. And ain't white man saying this. This is a black man. They feel that black women are no good for them. They got attitudes. They want a baller, they want a drug dealer, and they want a scammer. Or they want a thug.
And all we doing is bag chasing and scamming and drugs.
Oh,
they got the worst outlook.
In the 90s, Jennifer Lopez was shamelessly using Ashanti's vocals as hers. She should be called out and Ashanti awarded royalties.
That's called a sellout. That's where you sell yourself. You sell out. I'm going to sell out. That means it's like the same thing. You go to court. I'm going to settle out of court. You got a big company. Yo, listen, we ain't going to bring this shit to court. I'm going to settle out. What? You should fight. No, I'm going to settle out. Give the nigga $50,000 and call it a day. So a person to say same situation happened to, the same situation that happened to Jay Lopez. Come on now, Ashanti. Like, at the end of the day, now Ashanti's an Instagram model. It's almost like, well, damn, boo, like, you're not even giving a woman nothing to look at. It's almost like you're supposed to be in a position now when you producing something, produce some groups. You ain't got to sing no more, but you ain't got to be doing what 500,000 women are doing already on that shit. Like, shit is just, the game is just kind of screwed up, man, in a very negative way. So I think y'all platform, and I'm going to tell you this is going to be the hard part, but I'm going to say this right now. Guess what the easiest thing to do, but the hardest thing to do in this game? Consistency. You'll have 3 women have their little plans, and we're gonna do this, do that. 6 months later, there's 1 woman left. You're like, oh my God, what happened? Well, this one wanted to do this, so this one got tired, the views wasn't coming in. It's the consistency. I've seen these women in DR, these black sisters. They moved out there and it was like Woman of the DR. And I remember there was 6 women that started that shit. No lie, that shit went down to 5. Now it's just her by herself. Just one woman.
Yeah, well, you ain't got to. Marlise must ain't tell you about our background. We just to survive the slums. We in it to win it.
Oh, he froze. Nathaniel froze. Come back.
Like just make.
Oh, he's
Hey,
back.
Emily.
You froze for a
We got a
second, Nate.
listener. That's my
No, bro.
cousin. Hey, cousin Emily. She
Yo,
said,
shout out
"Love
to cousin
y'all
Emily.
speaking facts and Anthony listening." Thank you, Emily.
See, look, people are tuning in, man, and y'all fresh in the game. That's crazy. I mean, that's just showing you right now. But
Oh, she was saying that to you. You froze on us, Nate. I was
Oh,
Oh
worried.
yeah, I said Nate. I said Marlise must have didn't give you the real talk. We 3 women come from Brooklyn Cooper Projects.
oh, no question.
We in it to win it. Only
Oh,
the
that's what I'm
strong
talking
will
about.
survive.
Well,
That's one of the reasons why we came on this platform. We have seen that our women, a younger generation, is lost. We
yes.
from the crack era. My mother
Oh,
was stricken. She was on the first episode. I might have lost her here. She got upset about me putting that out there, but that does make a part of our segment. We are 3 women that suffered whether a father wasn't in the home
right.
or half-time parents, drug parents, grandparents raising us. And so we know that was an effect on our generation. So if it was an effect on our generation, how many other people behind us, has been distorted, lost, hopeless,
Yes.
no value. So this is one of the reasons why we formulated this platform, and we thank you so much for coming out tonight
Oh, no
and
question. I
being a
support you.
voice. Being a voice. We really appreciate you.
Nah, you listen, man. I appreciate y'all appreciating me, and I'll let y'all ladies know, like, at any given time. I mean, listen, you're always welcome to come through. Like I told Marilyn, listen, you could come there, let them know, listen, you come through, listen, for all of y'all, support these ladies. We do whatever we got to do. Considering once things calm down a little bit, we'll do something like, with a camera, and do a nice exclusive interview about what y'all doing and post that on my site as well. And it's just going to go up from there. So it's just a beautiful situation. I'm glad y'all doing this, and I'm so glad that Marilyn's actually stuck with. I think we talked about this years ago, man. And listen, I support the movement because this ain't happening often. There's a few sisters jumping in and out of there. And it's just a little too crazy, but I think y'all can make a real good monument on this YouTube platform, just as long as you address all of these situations that us men are aware of. And I could be the guy you could come to and ask, yo, Nate, what's the deal? How come Latin over black sisters? I can tell you that, you know what I mean? Or not to say I prefer that, but I'm just saying that's what we could talk about. We could talk about yo, Nate, what's the deal this week? I'm like, you may want to address this. Oh, really?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing right now.
Yeah, we all about unifying our culture. Like you said, the music is different. Now we hearing about hoes and bitches when we was hearing about, let's just do, let's love and happiness.
Yes.
Family is everything. We come from a generation where love was the root of everything. Now it's hate. Now it's jealousy. Now is she thinks she better than me. We gotta get away from that. We gotta go back to where we came from.
If you could tell a person, and to spin off what you're talking about, you know how you could eliminate so much if you got friends and family that feel they could come to you about negative drama. You can eliminate it by they see how you handle it. Because I'll give you an example. If my man's son comes to me, for example, he like, yo, my pops is on some BS, like he want me to start the car, some shit that happened earlier. And if I say, damn, I just promoted what he just meant, versus, nigga, stop sweating that shit. Nigga, your pops tell you to do something, just do it. Like, stop being a bitch. So what ends up happening is that he starts realizing, like, they coming to me. Like, sometimes people shut down, like, yo, I'm done with everybody. I don't want to talk to nobody about shit. I ain't gonna tell nobody no advice. No, don't do that. Just give them the real when they come to you. Just smoke them. They come to you with that, yeah, because, it's snowing today. I'm like, yeah, it's snowing, but it's snow. It's nothing. It's going to melt. Like, you got to know how to just constantly shoot that shit. And after a while, people going to realize that they're going to come to you to feel better, not just to come to you to dump a whole bunch of drama. Like, I'm tired of this nigga. I cut him off. I'm done. Person, you get back with them. You like, you got back with him? Yeah, yes, bitch, I got back with him, but that's between us. You like, oh wow, like I was the one you was coming to committed, but now you gotta realize in the future when she come to you, but like, yo, listen, with all due respect, I don't even want to get involved with that shit because when y'all get back together, you're gonna be looking at me crazy. So what should I do?
Right. Right, and that's what we've been talking about. Our culture been so oppressed that we've been living in denial.
Yes.
Living in denial, thinking that the way we've been doing things is okay. And it's not okay when we have Arabics in our country regulating the local bodegas in all of our hoods. I get offended. I get offended. I've been in business now for 10 years. And because of our culture and not passing the baton rightfully, we have given it to the other people that have just came here, not by natural, but just came here and took over. I'm offensive by that, and we need to get a hold to this, and we need to make a difference. Or this platform is about making a difference, like you said, no denial, not
No denial,
sugarcoating it, not making it sound good to please you. We
no,
trying to make a difference.
brutally honest.
Yep, brutally honest.
Even if you got to give them a disclaimer, say, listen, I must warn you, I'm brutally honest. You know what I mean? Because then what ends up happening is that when they're looking crazy and they walking away, it's like, oh, well, shit, you know what it was. Can't say I didn't warn you. People need to know when more sisters can embrace and empower. The key is to empower. You can't empower like women altogether. They got to empower on a level of sisters because a lot of the women, including the sisters, it's almost like if what does empower mean when the black woman has a different struggle than a white woman? Sorry. So like if a black woman's struggle is um, her black family, and then a white woman's like, well, shit, it ain't my black family, it's just these men on some bullshit. You be like, well, hold on, like we got black families here, which we're limited in the black community. So we got a different fight. And y'all have to say that. Like I fight.
Ding, ding, ding.
You got privilege, you know what I mean? But I got privilege.
Yep.
You get stopped as a black woman late at night with cops.
Didn't I just say that? Yep.
That's your
Yep.
attitude.
You started off the show with that.
Yeah, that shit is serious, man. Like this right here, I'm real hyped for y'all with this, man, because I'm telling you, as long as y'all just stay consistent, I don't care, just pop it once a week. It could just be once a week. And then before you know, if y'all got time, do it twice a week. Before you know it, do that shit every day. Just do it. I don't care if it's for 5 minutes. Like, you want to tape a video, you ain't got to be live all the time. You could always tape something on your phone and post it.
Right. And we thank all of our listeners tonight for tuning in. Tell a friend
That's
every
right.
night or Sunday nights at 10 p.m. to tune in, subscribe, share. If you got any topics, DM us, message us. We all open. It is no judgment zone here.
No judgment. I respect that. And you know what? I'm going to tell y'all this right now. I support y'all. Unfortunately, I got a show going on right now, but I support y'all.
I
will be
told
back.
y'all that's what he was gonna do. He's so busy.
I know, but we understand because we at
Thank
our
you
2
so
hour mark.
much.
We don't wanna go too far into. So we understand him that he got other obligations. We appreciate his time.
Appreciate it. Because I'm about to jump back on yours too. So thank you.
I'm gonna be popping up. So I'm here. I got y'all.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
All right, love.
All right. So you can wrap it up, Simona. Y'all can wrap it up.
That was some great listeners.
Yes. Yes. I feel
Yeah, he's a
accomplished.
real one.
I feel accomplished. A second one down. Lifetime to go.
Right.
Yeah, there's so much information.
Definitely some things to think about for the week.
Yeah, so if anybody, any latecomers, we was talking about systematic oppression, how we need to break away what has been deemed on us, a system that has been dawn to break us, strip us, and eventually kill us. So we talked about, if you look earlier on, systematic oppression in the educational system, on our jobs, within our families, and we just need to break away from that.
Yeah. To everybody I seen, I've been checking people coming in and out. I appreciate y'all. We all appreciate y'all. We see the comments. Thank you guys for dropping by, dropping love, sliding through. And I see people been coming through. And yeah, tonight's show was about basically exactly what Cassandra said, systematic oppression. When Nate came through, he literally pointed out, guys, everything we was talking about too
Yes, that was
within the
crazy.
music.
Yes.
that he wasn't even
Like
listening, so it was interesting.
it solidified it
That whole
everything.
time, right? Even in the music industry,
Yes.
on TV, it's everywhere.
Sisters, yeah, us black sisters fighting each other, not knowing our value. We got to work on that. Like Simona said, our approach, communication is key. We can say, well, we can argue. Everybody don't have the same views, but the most important thing is to be able to listen, to learn, and come to a resolution, in a rightfully manner. No disrespectful, not arguing. We got to break away from that. That's what they taught us. Hate, fight, kill each other. We don't want to continue that another 400 years.
Especially when there's more than one way. There is more than one way. Even if it's not at your local liquor store or corner store, there is more than one way. Sometimes, unfortunately, you got to go a little further to find it, but there's definitely more than one route. And
Yeah.
to go back to what we said earlier, because we did quote George Washington Carver, fear of something is at the root of hate for others, and hate within will eventually destroy the hater. Keep your thoughts free from hate, and you need have no fear from those who hate you.
Right.
So continue to be fearless and talk about it, because the easiest way to break down systematic oppression and inequality is to bring it to light, because most people don't even believe that it's real, which is
Right.
beyond me, but I mean, talk about it. It might cause another person who owns a company to hire somebody they wouldn't normally hire. It might make an
Right.
educator, institute a form of education where they're actually discussing discrimination and inequality. There's so many basic ways without, when someone says, I don't want to start a petition, I don't want to go march for my freedom, well, open your mouth. You know what I
R-
mean?
Right. If you see your little cousin going down the bad path like you once was, or generational curse, line of family members scamming, and now the next one is in line. Tap in, see what he's good at. He might be a good writer. He might be a good director. He might be a good comedian. Tap in and see what he can bring to the family's legacy. Don't just give him what he used to, or give her what she used to do, with the dysfunctional traits. Break away from that, because we don't want to continue to put our people in those jail institutions that continue to breed more prisoners. We want to break away from that.
Anything you want to add, Simona, before we cut out? Wow, we did reach 2 hours, guys. That's
Right.
No, I'm all right. I'm just a lot to think about. Tonight was a good night, and I think y'all said it all.
Yeah, well, thank you, Simona, for officially joining us. It's a very good dialogue. I'm looking forward to our journey, and this was a good night. And if
Yeah.
anybody would like, we always open to comments, topics. If anyone feel like they want to have a topic for next week, or just DM us. You can also email us at triple T sisters at gmail.com.
Yeah, even if you want to talk about this again, maybe we didn't touch base on something because every topic runs deep. We can go further. If you want to join in, say something. Even tonight, if you want to join in, always say something. And that's my mistake. I could start posting the link in the comment section for people if they want to join in as we're talking. But yeah, Nate said it best. We got to use our voices because there's so many other people creating a narrative for us. And that's not okay. There's so many other races and cultures taking our culture and we're not saying anything. Just like Joey said earlier, even Ashanti, she should be rewarded royalties. How people don't even just think to help people who've been helping them is beyond me, but that's what we're here for. So good night, everybody. You coming in low,
Good
Cassandra.
night, y'all.
Yep, I had a good segment. Thank you guys. I look forward to next Sunday, same time.
Same time, same place. And we'll post something in the meantime because I see that that's what people like too. So thank you guys
Yes,
again.
love the comments. I love that they interactive. It's going.
Yes.
It's going.
Yes. Making a difference, changing somebody's life one day at a time. All right, ladies. Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.